Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Friday, June 14th, 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2024. A new study provides clear evidence that the inner core of Earth began to decrease its speed around 2010. We talked about this almost a year ago on the channel, and the study has confirmed the rotation of Earth's inner core has slowed. Keep calm. It's boom time. South Florida compared to scenes from a zombie movie as widespread flooding triggers rare warnings. Take a look at this. This woman drove directly into a canal because her GPS told her to. Holy macaroni. South Florida has been left in a state of emergency after days of rain have dumped more than a foot of rain on many parts of the region. The deluge created what has been likened to a zombie movie. Scenes are triggered a rare warning from the National Weather Service as precipitation continues on Friday. You can even see where the car was sitting there for quite some time. So, South Florida now compared to the zombie apocalypse. Severe storm risk builds Saturday for portions of the prairies. We'll have the full forecast in just a moment, so stay tuned. Hail map for Thursday, June 13th, 28,321 households impacted by hail, 1 inch or larger, 89 households on Thursday impacted by that gorilla hail. Holy macaroni. I hope you've got your helmets ready. Additional heavy rainfall for Florida. Severe thunderstorms in the high plains and east. Buckle up, Buttercup. Continued heavy to excessive rainfall may bring considerable to locally catastrophic urban flooding today to South Florida, with areas of flash and urban flooding remaining possible through Saturday. Now, you've had practice over the last few days, so get your kayaks ready. Flood watches remain in effect. A slight risk of severe thunderstorms, level 2 of 5, exists today in the central high plains from the mid-Atlantic to southern New England. Let's check out the GFS model. It was a spicy day in the South San Juans here in Colorado. And when I say spicy, I mean temperature swings. Ding dings. So let me get that lit up for you. All righty. And so we went from waking up to cloudy skies and 50 degrees to a small rainstorm coming through here. And then what happened is there was a break in the front and the sun came out. And the high today was forecast for 69 degrees and then it skyrocketed up to 90. So it went from 50 to 90 and then another front came in right around dinner time and it dropped down into the 50s again. So quite a few wardrobe changes for us in southwestern Colorado today. You can see that moisture there still exists. It's still cloudy out, albeit no rain is falling. So let's move this through. You can see a severe weather threat in the next 3 hours to pop up here in eastern Colorado. It's going to move over to Nebraska, Kansas, and North Texas overnight, and then by morning, remain in Nebraska as it maybe moves into Iowa. Some heavy systems up here in Minnesota, say it ain't soda. But through the day, Saturday into Sunday night, Iowa, Minnesota, Oklahoma could all see some severe weather threats. Tropical disturbances to the south continue as we have one come up into Texas after another. And at the end of the model here, we've got a Cat 1 hurricane hitting the panhandle here on June 23rd. As the models showed this days ago, we showed this to you. So this event, wherever it makes landfall, is probably going to happen based on the fact that it keeps showing up time and again on the models. This is showing a direct hit here on the 24th at maybe Cat 2. As the models develop, we'll keep a close eye on this for you. So heads up, panhandle of Florida for a late June tropical depression or hurricane headed your way. Now, it might be summer and it might be hurricane season, but the snow is not over. Take a look at what's going to be happening here in the Pacific Northwest, specifically east of there. Idaho and western Montana. Take a look at these snow totals that are going to be dumping on the ground next week. Monday, June 17th, Tuesday, the 18th through the 19th. So early next week, we've got an interesting pattern setting up here for the Pacific Northwest and the Northwest in general, including western Montana, central Idaho. And I don't know, but what do you say? Shut up, Al! Get in your hole! That's what I always say when there's snow in June. And that's a June boom. This is a summer snowstorm because, well, after the June 21st, it's summer everywhere in the Northern Hemisphere. Seismic update. No quakes of note. Interesting outlier here, 4.2 up in Inuvik, Canada. Could have to do with some of the ice melting. Other than that, no other quakes of note, except we could hone in here on Hawaii. A 4.1 happened just offshore there near the seamount there. But clearly this is the seamount, the Ahi seamount is more in this region, so that is not there. I don't know what that is. Could be a conduit for magma coming back up into Mauna Loa. Say it ain't so. Well, that volcano is going to continue to erupt for the rest of your lives, as it has for hundreds of years. Worldwide volcano news update. Speaking of volcanoes, Fuego today to 15,000 feet. The eruptive activity at Dukono continues with vigorous explosions, as you see here in the background there. Sabancaya to 25,000 feet. Ibu puffing 13,000 feet today. Reventador, 15,000 foot puff. Semeru, who knew? Now you do. 15,000 foot puff there. We've got Liwatobi volcano. 10,000 foot puff today, Reventador to 15, Sabancaya to 25, Popo to 19. Ibu issues the following report, a 13,000 foot puff there. Semeru to 15, Ibu to 10, Liwatobi to 10, and that wraps up Worldwide Volcano News for June 15th. Space weather news for the 15th. Take a look. The sunspot we were discussing yesterday, active region 3712, has continued to grow. And let's take a look at the latest HMI intensity to get a grasp on the size of this spot. Quite significant. It's going to be Earth facing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And there could be some X flare potential. Why do I mean that? Well, let's take a look at the sunspot summary. And you can see active region 3713 is now beta gamma. That means there's magnetic mixing here. We've got negative, positive, negative, positive. There is mixing, and that means flaring. AR3712 as well is now beta gamma delta. That is one of the highest potentials for X flares, but they're only putting that in here at 5% right now, which in my opinion is a bit low. Based on the mixing here, we've got negative and positive on opposite sides in very short distances with huge extremity differences. And so pretty fantastic mixing there at AR3712. I would expect more M flares over the next 24 hours. As long as the Earth facing quiet doesn't affect this spot, we could be seeing some pretty significant activity from this sunspot region. 3-day geomagnetic forecast is no geomagnetic storms, all quiet on the western front. Low-level activity all day except for one minor M flare. Looks like an M 2.4 right there. And no other M flares since then over the last 24 hours. We're waiting for this sunspot to get angry and kick it up a notch and maybe bring us some aurora in the coming days. A new study coming out from USC. This is the University of Southern California. The slowing of Earth's inner core. We talked about this several months ago when another paper came out purporting the same thing, but a new study provides clear evidence that the inner core began to decrease its speed around 2010. Now, what you need to know about this is that typically, if we have two globes, the core and the mantle spin at the same speed. They're essentially coupled. Sometimes the core is a little slower than the mantle by a millisecond, and sometimes the core is faster than the mantle. Now, what we learned since the last geomagnetic storm is quite simple. That huge super geomagnetic storms like the solar storm of 2003, the Halloween October storm, or the superstorm of May 2024, which we just had, pushes so much plasma on the Earth it slows the rotation. So, it is in my opinion that if the core has slowed by a millisecond and the Earth is slowed by a millisecond, this entire paper is garbage. And Leah and I and Ransom are going to break this down tomorrow on Revolution Radio, noon Mountain Time, Studio B. And we will replay the radio show at 8 p.m. Mountain Time on Magnetic Reversal News. So check it out. We'll also cover a few more things that we'll get to in just a moment. Have you seen this headline? A new Chinese megaport in South America is rattling the U.S. Well, why is it rattling the U.S.? Look at the size of this puppy. And the fact that China could now literally control South America is a very big geopolitical threat to the world. We know about the Wu flu. We know about other things that China does. Uyghur Muslims much? How about Falun Gong and every other type of suppressed thing from that communist country? Well, it doesn't really matter. Our country is about to be communist if Trump doesn't win, so does it matter anyway? The whole world, it's a communist takeover, one world global government where you will own nothing and be happy. I'm just getting a little snappy. You know who else is? Everyone that is reporting on this garbage article from Harvard. Aliens might be living among us, disguised as humans, a Harvard researcher claims. We're going to link you to the article and the entire paper, and we're going to break it down tomorrow on Revolution Radio with Ransom Godwin from 420, the Freedom S Films, and Leah Shaper, my partner. We're going to be discussing this at length, the crypto-terrestrial hypothesis. That's what they call it. Not only do they say these aliens might be living among us as humans, cloaking themselves, they may be living underground on Earth or perhaps on the dark side of the moon or underground in the inner moon or on other planets, perhaps. Sounds like a bunch of disinformation to me. What say you? Well, that's a boom to knowledge anyway. Please share this video as we are shadow banned. We need your help to grow. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. And check out the links below the video in the description box where you can get links to our affiliate Alliance of Native Seed Keepers for the cheapest seeds on Earth, non-GMO, open-pollinated, heirloom seeds, as well as the Jace case, where you and your family can survive and thrive in a grid-down scenario because you have backup medication. Check the links and get peace of mind. We love each and every one of you. Be safe. And we'll see you all in Crestone on July 4th.